Okay, so today we are talking about the source-based questions, and this is taken from May, June 2015. The first part of the question is that this is taken from the text. So you have to write down from the text, and the answer should be given with the maximum 3 marks, and you should select any one sentence from the text. So, for example, यहाँ पे question ये है कि what reasons are suggested for the British victory at the Battle of Plassey in 1757? So you have to find out the answer from this text, which you can see here, and यहाँ पे ये text आप पढ़ेंगे. Either you will write the text as it is, or the relevant point of the text. For example, if I keep on reading that, I can find out that Clive was heavily outnumbered by Nawab forces. So this was not the sign of victory, because this means Clive army was less than the Nawab army, but persuaded Mir Jafar. So this is the point. So Mir Jafar switched sides towards the British. The Nawab opened the battle with heavy gunfire. Ye bhi nahi hoga. Clive troops covered their cannon and muskets to protect from the rain, whilst the Nawab troops did not. So this was also one of the reasons for defeat. And the Nawab troops retreated, and 22 of Clive soldiers were killed, and 500 Nawab soldiers were killed. So the casualties level were more for Nawab. So these were the reasons. मैं दोबारा आ जाता हूँ उस पे. And you can see that in the marking scheme, the points are given. You can simply write down one sentence. 3 marks का question होता है, means कि you have to write down 3 sentences from these, and like this. Okay. So let's go to the source B. Source B का marking scheme पहले मतलब देख लें कि जी जी. Source B हमारे पास एक picture based question होता है. So first, let's see at the picture, and what we have to write in the about the picture, that this is British East India Company. You can see the British East India Company and the local people as well. So you should write down 3 observations and 3 inferences related to that. एक observation होगा, उसका inference होगा. दूसरा observation उसका inference होगा. तीसरा observation उसका inference होगा. Observation और inference में क्या फर्क होता है कि observation is something that is visible in the picture. For example, this can be seen that EIC is portrayed as a large figure. This is the observation. But what does it show? It shows that EIC was powerful. EIC had strength as compared to the local people. Local people had low positions. So they were portrayed as small people, small in height. And the British officials are wearing very expensive clothes and decorated uniforms. So this shows also that they were very rich. They were rich and very important. They occupied very important positions, while the Indians wore very simple clothes. So this showed that they were poor. ठीक है ना? तो जो आपके पास, so they were poor is inference, and they are wearing simple clothes is the observation. ठीक है ना? Okay. अब हम यहाँ पे सबसे पहले आपने किस चीज पे आना है? यहाँ पे आपने आना है कि level 3 पे आ जाते हैं. If you identify the surface feature like a British officers riding a horse surrounded by Indians, सिर्फ ये लिखेंगे तो आपको 1 नंबर मिल जाएगा. If you write British officer looks important is inference, not observation. The British look powerful. This is also inference. मगर इसकी observation नहीं. You wrote a lot of inferences and you don't write their observations. So you'll get maximum 3 marks out of 5 marks. But if you write the inferences supported by observations, then you will get 5 marks. अच्छा, ये देखें इसके points, for example. The painter has made British officer largest figure. So ये आपके पास हो जाएगा observation. So this demonstrates the importance of British officials. So when the Indians are shown as small people, this shows their lowly status. So lowly status is inference, small people is observation. Local rulers are on the horseback behind the British official. ये observation हो जाएगा. They are shown as smaller. ये भी observation हो जाएगा. Reflecting के बाद क्या हो जाएगा? इसका their lower status to the British. Horses are shown large animals. So ये observation हो जाएगा. Graceful in appearance and movement. Again, this shows what? Superiority and power of EIC. ये इसका inference हो जाएगा. तो inference एक ऐसी चीज होती है that is not in the picture, and observation is that is in the picture. But observation or inference are linked together. Means if we see horse as a large animal, this means this is observation. And what does it show? That this shows the power and superiority of the British that were riding on horses. East India Company is shown as being wealthy organization. ये wealthy organization क्या है? ये inference है, क्योंकि हमें नहीं पता कि well ये picture में, मगर picture में क्या मतलब क्या show रहा है? This shows the decorated horses and uniforms. उनकी horses और uniforms से पता लग रहा है कि they were wealthy people. The company were able to achieve this their wealth through trading, as can be seen by boat shown in the picture. एक boat भी आपको नजर आ रही होगी. तो boat is a symbol of ये देखिए ये बिल्कुल side पे एक boat नजर आ रही है. So this boat shows the trade. So British used to trade and earn money through trade. तो जो आपको observation नजर आए वो आप note down करना है, उसका inference भी लिखना है, ठीक है ना? बस आपने यही करना है. तो आपने कितनी observation, कितने inference लिखना है. अच्छा, फिर आपके पास एक और चीज भी है कि through conquest and agreement with, this is shown by the weapons displayed and the wealthy appearance. Weapons भी show, the weapons भी show रहा है कि they also had an army, and this army came into conflict with local rulers as well. ठीक है, ये हमारे पास मार्किंग स्कीम हो गई. अब हमने यहाँ से हट के जाना है, and we have to go towards the students answers की तरफ जाते हैं. तो वो हम देखते हैं कि स्टूडेंट्स के आंसर क्या लिखे हुए हैं. ये एक हाई लेवल का स्टूडेंट है, इसका आंसर आप लोग पढ़ें और मुझे बताएं कि इसको कितने मार्क्स मिले होंगे out of 3. Mir Jafar, the Nawab of commander, betrayed the Nawab and switched side, and so made it easy for British to defeat Nawab forces. ये इस बच्चे ने अपने own words में भी लिखा है, मतलब टेक्स्ट को कॉपी नहीं किया. It started to rain heavily, and so Clive troops covered their cannon and muskets to protect them from the rain, whilst the Nawab troops did not. And so when the rain cleared, Clive attacked. The Nawab troops retreated. 22 soldiers of Clive were killed. बहुत अच्छा आंसर लिखा है. This is a very good answer. Means 3 पॉइंट से ज्यादा लिख दिया इसने. अच्छा जी, चले हम इसका पार्ट बी भी पढ़ लेते हैं. पार्ट बी देखते हैं इसमें क्या लिखा है. तो प्लीज ऑब्जर्वेशन और इन्फ्लुएंसेस नोट करें, आप लोग खुद नोट करें, मुझे बताएं कि ये ऑब्जर्वेशन है, ये इन्फ्लुएंस है. मैं पूछूंगा आपसे, अकॉर्डिंग टू सोर्स बी, it can be said that the company made a lot of money. Company made a lot of money. What is this? Inference or observation? And members are rich. What is this?
Inference.
Inference. And respected in the picture. Respected in the picture. They were rich. They earn a lot of money. So, iska observation, the members of the company is riding a horse and wearing good clothes. या decorated uniform पहना हुआ है, बस ये इसका ऑब्जर्वेशन हो गया। अच्छा, तो इन्फ्रेंस पहले आ गया, ऑब्जर्वेशन बाद में आ गया, कोई मसला नहीं। आप लोग ऑब्जर्वेशन पहले लिख दो, इन्फ्रेंस बाद में लिख दो, कोई इशू नहीं। Also, the picture shows that the company was thought to be superior than the local. As in the picture, the official of the company has been painted bigger and bolder than the other apparently small and inferior looking Indians. इसमें भी बहुत clear है। इसमें भी आप
सर ये वाला कितने मार्क्स का था?
ये 5 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन, ये 3 मार्क्स का है ऊपर वाला, और ये 5 मार्क्स है। इसमें भी बहुत अच्छा आंसर लिखा है इसने।
सर हम लोग 5 मार्क्स में कितने पॉइंट रखेंगे?
5 पॉइंट्स में आपको दें, 3 ऑब्जर्वेशन 3 इन्फ्रेंसेस, ठीक है ना। मगर अगर कहीं पर अगर आपने हो सकता है 2 भी लिख दें तो उसमें भी हो सकता है वो मार्क्स आपको दे दे अगर बहुत अच्छा आंसर होगा, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता कि मतलब हो सकता है एग्जामिनर 2 पे भी आपको 5 दे दे, कोई बात नहीं, क्योंकि CAIE के जो एग्जामिनर होते हैं वो थोड़े से इसमें जनरस होते हैं, वो आपको मार्क्स दे देते हैं। तो ये भी आपके पास जो है ना, thought to be superior is again inference, and because they are painted as bigger, और ये third है देखो, the officials of the company were civilized and well mannered, as according to the what source B shows that the company officials wearing proper civilized and manner clothes. Let's see कि इसको मार्क्स कितने मिले और कमेंट्स क्या है, ये देखें। 3 out of 3, 5 out of 5. Was able to correctly identify the reasons, ये तो बहुत clear है। Makes 2 inferences about the British East India Company, supported by details taken from source B. Answer is appropriate and they have made use of the source. This answer is awarded maximum marks in level 3. तो अगर 2 inferences भी आप लिख दें और बहुत अच्छा आंसर लिख दें तो वो आपको 5 out of 5 दे देगा आपको, ठीक है ना। सही। अब यही चलते हैं और किसी एक दूसरे बच्चे का बताते हैं।
सर तो सोर्स ए कैसे कर, सोर्स ए में कितने पॉइंट लिखने होते हैं? और
सोर्स बी
कंटेंट
5 मार्क्स का भाई जी बेटा। सोर्स बी इसका, सोर्स ए 3 मार्क्स, ठीक है, ओके। चलें अब हम आते हैं यहाँ पे। Battle of Plassey was won by the British. One of the main reason was Nawab commander treachery. He was convinced by the Robert Clive persuasion. The strategy that Robert Clive used was another reason. He covered his troops from the heavy rain. They also had superior weapons which benefited them. ठीक है, तो ये आपके पास एक आंसर हो गया। तो इसमें आप क्या समझते हैं, कितने पॉइंट्स इसने लिखे हैं? ट्रेचरी के बारे में लिख दिया और एक रीजन लिख दिया कि रॉबर्ट क्लाइव यूज्ड द स्ट्रेटजी दैट ही कवर्ड द ट्रूप्स व्हेन इट वाज रेनिंग, और थर्ड उसने लिख दिया दे आल्सो हैड सुपीरियर वेपन्स। तो 3 आपने, मगर सुपीरियर वेपन्स का जिक्र नहीं है कहीं टेक्स्ट में। इफ यू राइट समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा out of text, then I don't think you will be awarded marks for this. Superior weapons तो होंगे, मगर superior weapons का जिक्र नहीं है उसमें, टेक्स्ट में नहीं जिक्र है। अच्छा, अब source B को देखें। Source B tells us that the British East India Company had slowly and strategically gained political and military power in the subcontinent. ये facts हैं, but this is neither observation nor inference. This is something about East India Company. So let's see कि इसको कितने marks मिलते हैं. It can be seen that the British official was that in the front, followed by his loyal Indian. This is observation. The EIC army can also be seen in the source. By 1825, they had gained enough strength and power to be a force to be reckoned with. Simply इसमें observation लिखा है और उसका inference हो गया strength and power. The locals can also be seen in the procession, which shows that they had accepted the British superiority. ठीक है, तो इसके आंसर्स को हमें इतना अच्छा आंसर नहीं है, but let's see कि इसको कितने मार्क्स मिलते हैं। इसको देखो 2 out of 3 मिल रहा है। मैंने आपको बताया था कि if you write something that is not in the data, You're not in the text. Superior weapons may be a reason for winning the battle, but was not mentioned in the text. And you wrote it from your own side. So writing from your own side will not give you any credit. Simple. So ये वो जो आखिर वाला जो था, that was inaccurate. ठीक है, तो दो ठीक हैं, एक गलत है, आखिरी वाला गलत है. और ये जो inferences हैं, 2 inferences about the British Indian, but these were unsupported by any detail from the source B. The answer was awarded a mark level. In order to reach level 3, candidates should support their inferences using details from relevant sources. अभी देखें, दोबारा हम जाते हैं कि इसके जो सोर्स में से जो आंसर इसने लिखा है वो इसमें ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं है, इन्फ्रेंसेस हैं, ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं है. स्ट्रेंथ एंड पावर दिया हुआ है मगर ऑब्जर्वेशन बहुत ज्यादा नहीं लिखी हुई. ठीक है ना.
3 मार्क्स में टोटल कितने पॉइंट्स आएंगे?
3 मार्क्स में 3 पॉइंट चाहिए पार्ट ए में.
5 मार्क्स में
5 मार्क्स में अगर आप 2 ऑब्जर्वेशन बहुत अच्छे लिख दें प्लस इन्फ्रेंसेस या इन्फ्रेंसेस सपोर्टेड बाय ऑब्जर्वेशन लिख दें तो वो आपको 5 मार्क्स दे देगा. जैसे मैंने आपको ये पहला वाला जो रीड किया था, आप इसको रीड करें, बहुत अच्छा आंसर है. ये जो पहले वाला है, दिस इज वेरी गुड आंसर. ये देखिए, इसको पढ़ें कि कंपनी मेड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड मेंबर्स आर रिच एंड रिस्पेक्टेड. ये सारा इन्फ्रेंस है. द मेंबर्स ऑफ द कंपनी इज राइडिंग अ हॉर्स एंड वियरिंग गुड क्लोथ्स. गुड क्लोथ भी लिख सकते हैं, आप कह सकते हैं डेकोरेटेड यूनिफॉर्म भी लिख सकते हैं, ये भी लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है ना. तो वियरिंग डेकोरेटेड यूनिफॉर्म या गुड क्लोथ्स या सुपीरियर क्लोथ्स, राइडिंग अ हॉर्स, ये ऑब्जर्वेशन हो गया. और they were rich and respected, ये आपका इन्फ्रेंस हो गया. सो इन्फ्रेंस प्लस ऑब्जर्वेशन. दूसरे में भी आपने मतलब उसमें बताया कि thought to be superior than the locals because they have been painted bigger and bolder than the other people, and Indians are painted as small, so they are inferior. They are painted small, observation हो गया, और they were inferior, मतलब वो उसका इन्फ्लुएंस हो गया. ये बहुत अच्छा आंसर है. दिस इज वेरी गुड आंसर. और यहाँ पे आपके पास थर्ड हो गए कि वो सिविलाइज वगैरह थे, मगर इस चीज को उसने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. उसने मतलब उसने सिर्फ ये 2 ऑब्जर्वेशंस को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, ये जो शुरू में लिखे थे. ठीक है. और अब हम चलते हैं एक थर्ड स्टूडेंट की तरफ. तो इसमें आप देखें, इसको ये तो 3 आउट ऑफ 3 मिले. इसको कम मार्क्स क्यों मिले? क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया था कि इसमें इन्फ्लुएंसेस हैं, मतलब उसने लिखा है कि दे वर स्ट्रॉन्ग, दे वर रिच, दे वर पावरफुल, मगर उसमें ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं. ठीक है. अब हम जाते हैं इसके ये वाला आंसर पर. पढ़ें. इन बंगाल, पता नहीं क्या लिखा है, 1757 नवाब सिराजुद्दौला अपोज British power in Bengal. Okay, as EIC has retaken the Calcutta from Nawab. This is not in the text. The battle was heavily gunfire, which went until it started to rain. ये है, rain वाला है. Heavy 22 soldiers from Clive were killed in 500. ये वाला point है. बाकी जो इसने जो शुरू का जो हिस्सा लिखा है, this is not in the text here. So writing anything out of text will not give you marks. और ये आ गया आपका observation and inference. The photograph is about British East India Company, and it tells many of the emperors and protecting the leader, and many of the slaves can be seen in the back with no weaponry, and they are standing in respect. The others hand are occupied by the weaponry and protecting the leader, मतलब वो एक चीज लिखी, at the back of the leader 2 horses can be seen, सिर्फ observations हैं, who, और वो observation भी accurate नहीं है, मतलब इन्होंने लिखा है कि वो leader है और उसके slaves हैं. This picture is describing that they all are giving respect. सिर्फ respect का एक issue है, मगर respect खुद एक inference है. Respect is inference. मगर how, what is the observation for inference, for that inference? ये इसने लिखा, तो इसका भी आंसर मैं आपको पढ़ के सुना देता हूँ, और इसका भी मैं आपको जी, तो इसमें आपको 1 out of 3 मिले हैं, जो शुरू में मैंने आपको बताया था कि उसमें कैन यू आइडेंटिफाइड वन रीजन फ्रॉम द सोर्स बी, जो कि है that was a victory at Battle of Plassey. Other information from the source was given, but this didn't relate, मतलब उसमें और कोई भी चीज relevant नहीं थी. और जो पार्ट बी का जो आंसर है, कैन यू गेन मैक्सिमम मार्क्स इन लेवल 3 फॉर दिस रिस्पॉन्स, आई डोंट नो व्हाई मैक्सिमम मार्क्स, क्योंकि वो आंसर्स वाज repeated, and it was a difficult answer to mark since the candidate provided several unsupported references. However, enough relevant details were extracted from the source to place it in level. फिर भी examiners को 5 out of 5 दे दिए, क्योंकि details from the picture इसमें है, मतलब they are standing in respect, क्योंकि इसमें वही मैंने आपको बताया कि respect वगैरह सब कुछ है, मगर वो unsupported है, मतलब उसके observation नहीं लिखा बस में, फिर भी इसको 5 out of 5 दे दिया. ठीक है ना. अब इसी तरह हम लोग स्ट्रेटजी करेंगे. ये तो मैंने आपको बता दिया, तो इसमें बेस्ट आंसर आपने देखा कि द फर्स्ट वन वाज द बेस्ट आंसर. अब मैं जा रहा हूँ आपके पास कि आप लोगों को 7 और 14 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन भी मैं आपको यहाँ से कराता हूँ. ठीक है ना. तो ये 7 और 14 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है, और ये खैर सोर्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है. ये पार्ट सी हमारे पास है. Why were British able to take control of India by 1850? So simply आपने यहाँ पे reasons को identify करना है. आप पढ़ें इसको. You should find out 3 reasons. 3 reasons हैं इसमें, इस text के अंदर है. But they have written, ये मतलब उन्होंने पूरा एक ही paragraph में लिख दिया है. So please take some time and read the text. The British built a huge network of roads and later railways that meant that communication and transport links between cities became better. Soldiers could travel much more easily from trouble spots to trouble spot. It also benefited British trading links, which in turn produced more wealth. So पहली चीज जो इन्होंने बनाई थी वो they built roads and railways. So building roads and railways helped them to maintain peace and order and law and order in India, because their soldiers could travel to far areas and to trouble areas and reach there on time and maintain law and order. And these road and railway network also developed trade links and produce wealth. Okay. Then the battles of Plassey and Buxar also gave them vast riches of Bengal and favorable trading rights with the local. Victories in these 2 battles, यानी 2 बैटल ये लोग जीत गए थे, और इन 2 बैटल के जीतने के बाद EIC became very rich because of this. So they became rich, and they could buy. They could also, this also provided massive new resources which British could use to consolidate its control. So they had control over India and control over the resources of India. तो ये आपके पास 2 reasons हो गई. Third reason आपके पास है कि they appointed governor generals there who administer and control India for the benefits of the British. तो मैंने आपको 3 reason इसमें बहुत clear. The British Army using its vast local resources और superior weapons भी हैं. ठीक है ना. तो आपने इसमें 2-3 reason आपने mention करनी है. सबसे पहले development of roads and railway network, helped them to maintain law and order, and plus helped them to develop trade. Victories at the Battle of Plassey and Buxar also made them very rich. Appointment of governor generals also made them able to administer India for the benefit of themselves. And the British Army had much superior weapons and much trained army as compared to local Indian army. तो ये आपके पास इसका 7 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है. मैं 10 मार्क्स का भी पढ़ लेता हूँ, फिर हम लोग जाते हैं और उसकी तरफ जाते हैं. यहाँ पर हमारे पास 10 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है. Was the work of Christian missionaries the most important reason why the Indians opposed British attempt to westernize them between 1715 and 1850? इस क्वेश्चन का मतलब पहले आप समझें. क्वेश्चन का मतलब ये है कि Christian missionaries came to India to westernize them, but Indians opposed them. ठीक है ना? There were many other ways that British tried to westernize Indians. तो वो कौन से रास्ते हो सकते हैं? For example, आप कह सकते हैं कि they changed their languages. Persian and Sanskrit was replaced by English. Or for example, British education system was introduced, 1834, 1835. This was also a way to westernize them. So you have to begin. आपने शुरू करना है किस चीज से? Christian missionary से शुरू करना है. मैं आपको मार्किंग स्कीम जरा मतलब वो दिखा दूं कि if you write Christian, the work of Christian missionaries or other reasons, means if you write other reasons and not Christian missionaries, or Christian missionaries and not other reasons, so you will get maximum 5 marks से लेके यानी 10 marks में से आपको आधे नंबर मिल जाएंगे या फिर 7 marks मिल जाएंगे. अब अगर आपने क्रिश्चियन वर्क ऑफ क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज भी कर लिया और 2 रीजंस और मेंशन कर लिया आपने, 2 या 3 रीजन और कर ली, तो यू गेट 6 मार्क्स से लेके 9 मार्क्स मिल जाएगा. 1 मार्क इज फॉर कंक्लूजन, 10 मार्क्स हो जाएगा. मैं चाह रहा हूँ आप लोग ये पढ़ें इसको और इसमें आप आइडेंटिफाई करें कि सबसे पहले ये शुरू करता है क्रिश्चियन मिशनरी से शुरू करता है. सबसे पहला पॉइंट हमारे पास है द वर्क ऑफ क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज. फिर हमारे पास आप इसमें क्या लिखेंगे कि दे ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट द लोकल पॉपुलेशन एंड सेट अप स्कूल्स, एंड दीज स्कूल्स दे टॉट क्रिश्चियनिटी एंड दे ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट लोकल पीपल इनटू क्रिश्चियनिटी. मैनी मुस्लिम्स, हिंदूज एंड सिख resented these attempts. उन्होंने resistance शो की. They did not want to lose their religion. तो एक तरफ से they tried to westernize them, but they showed resistance. फिर और कौन सी रीजन है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल अब आप नंबर 2 पे आ जाएंगे. रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ पर्शियन. ये देखें, द रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ पर्शियन एंड संस्कृत बाय इंग्लिश in 1834, and also a number of social reforms like by the British without consultation and care of the local feelings. Indian had to send their children to the co-education. फिर उनके पास जो British education system आया, so they had to send their children to co-education schools. So many Muslims opposed this because they didn't want to send their children to co-education schools. And without their religious and cultural feelings, मतलब करते हुए इन्होंने ये system introduce किया. Thomas Macaulay is the person who introduced the British education system and believed that British education system was much superior than Indian education system. And they were also forced to abandon पर्दा. पर्दा भी उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया, और killing of baby daughters declared to be a murder, and sati was banned, and ये सब आपने लिखना है. ठीक है ना? अब हम चलते हैं और आपने देखना है उन जो 3 कैंडिडेट के आंसर्स को हम पढ़ेंगे कि उसमें उन्होंने क्या आंसर लिखे हैं और उनको कितने मार्क्स अवार्ड हुए. तो यहाँ से आपको 7 मार्क्स और 10 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस की स्ट्रेटजी भी आपके सामने आ जाएगी. ठीक है ना? तो ये हम पढ़ते हैं यहाँ पे जी. तो यहाँ पे पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं जो हाई लेवल स्टूडेंट है, यानी ये मिडिल लेवल स्टूडेंट है, और ये आपके पास मिडिल लेवल स्टूडेंट है, और ये आपके पास हाई लेवल स्टूडेंट है। देखते हैं इसको कितने मार्क्स मिलते हैं। आप सब इसका पार्ट सी वाला क्वेश्चन पढ़ें। ये देखें, the British had experienced industrial revolution due to which they had advanced weaponry and modern techniques. So first reason is why British were able to ये question हमारा वही था ना कि why British were able, ये question है, why were British able to take control of India? ठीक है, so the part C इसका जो आंसर है वो ये है कि they had superior weapons, the first reason. फिर इसने छोटे छोटे पैराग्राफ में लिखा, देखिए बहुत अच्छा होता है। मैं भी आपको ये मतलब सजेस्ट करता हूँ कि you should write in 3 small paragraphs. Like the British had gotten a lot of revenue from wars, like Plassey and Buxar में they got victories and they got revenue, and these revenues were used to strengthen their military. बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिया है। और थर्ड में उन्होंने दिया है the British fought with the devotion under Queen and strong military leaders who made clever strategies that could not be challenged by the weak Indian army. Okay, अब आ जाते हैं इसके 14 मार्क्स पे। तो क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है, came to India to set up schools in which they taught Christianity and expected the locals to give up their religion and convert to Christianity. This was seen as a threat by the Indians, and so they resented. British banned the religious, ये आपका सिर्फ आपने इतना पैराग्राफ लिखा है बस, ये आपने क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज के बारे में लिखा है। Phase, British banned the religious custom of sati of Hindu in which the widow had to be burned itself alive with the dead body of her husband. This was seen as a interference by the Hindu and so resented. The British introduced co-education system. However, Indians took this as cultural interference of British without due respect to the, ये आपके पास हो गया co-education system वाला हो गया। फिर आपके पास हो गया British introduced the although this was efficient means of railway system transports, the Indians were annoyed as they thought the British were interfering in their day-to-day lives. British had experienced industrial revolution due to which they had machineries produced large amount of clothes which was then sold cheaper prices. तो ये सब कुछ लिख के this angered the Indian members as they became jobless. तो उस वजह से वो British replaced English with Persian as official language. ये replacement of language हो गया. This was another cause of resentment as Indians became uneducated and so jobless. और यहाँ पे आपके पास conclusion नहीं लिखा है इस बच्चे ने, ठीक है ना। तो आपने इसको पहले 7 out of 7 आप देखें, ये 9 out of 10 दिए, देखें 9 out of 10 क्यों दिए हैं, बिकॉज उसमें कंक्लूजन नहीं है, कंक्लूजन के 1 मार्क होते हैं, और इसमें 7 out of 7 दिए। The candidate has given 3 reasons why the British were able to take control of India. All 3 explanations are accurate, concise and relevant. As a result, the candidate are produced इसको level 3 के मार्क्स दिए। Wrote an article, तो अगर आप छोटा पैराग्राफ भी लिखते हैं ना तो कोई बात नहीं, आपको मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे। मगर इसने जो है, आप देखें कितने पैराग्राफ बनाए हैं इसमें, आप काउंट करें, ये देखें छोटे छोटे मतलब पैराग्राफ बनाए हैं। एक क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज पे हो गया, एक बैन ऑफ सती पे हो गया, एक को एजुकेशन सिस्टम हो गया, और एक आपके पास जो है वो इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन की वजह से चीपर क्लोथ। तो 3-4 रीजंस, अगर आपके पास छोटे पैराग्राफ है तो try to write 4 or 5 reasons, और अगर if you can write in detail then you can write on 3, ठीक है ना। starting with the one which is mentioned, ये जो क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज है इससे स्टार्ट करेंगे एंड फिर आप लिखेंगे। यहाँ पे भी आप देखें at top level 4 answer was achieved as a candidate was able to explain the effective work of Christian missionaries और उसने दूसरी मतलब रीजंस को भी मेंशन करी, मगर जो चीज मिसिंग थी वो क्या थी इसमें कि conclusion was missing beyond this date, since such work would have been irrelevant to the question. और 1850 तक ही वो गया था. ठीक है. Okay, now we go to another answer, and please read this one. East India Company started trading in the subcontinent 1612. They set up their bases in Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. Their trade with India proved successful, so that they wanted to protect and ensure its survival and profitability. They set up their own army to protect their bases. The French wanted the French wanted part in the trade, so they encouraged Nawab of Bengal to attack one of their bases. Through Robert Clive effective planning, he beat Nawab Sirajuddaulah in the Battle of Plassey. This elevated EIC power in the eyes of the Indians. Next battle was the Battle of Buxar, in which EIC came out victorious and got a hold of Bihar and Orissa. EIC wanted to ensure their spice trade by acquiring the south of. Okay, let's see कि इन्होंने मैसूर के बारे में लिखा है, बहुत लंबा चौड़ा आंसर लिखा है. 7 मार्क का क्वेश्चन इतना लंबा चौड़ा नहीं होता. It should have 3 reasons. Let's see कि इसको कितने मार्क्स मिलते हैं. And जो 10 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है, Indian opposed British attempt to westernize them. EIC also brought Christian missionaries. ये पूरा Christian missionaries पे है. बस में वही कुछ है जो this was by the Hindus and Muslims both alike. The forceful conversion to Christianity also took place. There were also other reasons British brought their Western. For example, they changed the official language के बारे में मतलब लिखा हुआ है, and फिर British education system के बारे में लिखा है, and और इन्होंने किसके बारे में लिखा हुआ है कि ban on सत्ती के बारे में लिखा है. Therefore, even though the work of Christian missionaries was greatly, ये conclusion was opposed by the Indians, as they believed that this would westernize them. The implementation of English language as the official language and the medium of education were really more important reasons of oppositions. तो आखिर में उन्होंने conclusion दिया. तो let's see कि इसको कितने मार्क्स मिलते हैं. 7 मार्क्स में से ये 5 मार्क्स मिले. The candidate wrote a long answer. देखें इतना long answer नहीं होता. याद रखें 7 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन इतना बड़ा आंसर नहीं होता. On the ways in which British were able to take control of India, parts of the answer were irrelevant to the question as they referred to the इसकी हिस्ट्री वगैरह या बैटल्स के बारे में नहीं लिखना, सिर्फ अपने रीजन लिखना है कि why were they able to take control of to take control of India with on the subcontinent. In the last few lines, that candidate was able to provide a reason and an explanation, thereby gaining a mark at the bottom level of 3. So 5 out of 7 इसको मिल गए. जो 10 mark का question है, as much of their answer to the question was descriptive. They identified reasons for opposition, but did not explain why these reasons led Indian to oppose. मतलब उन्होंने simply बता दिया कि reasons क्या थी, मगर did not mention any reason why Indians oppose British. And the candidate was also able to explain the role of Christian missionaries को उन्होंने explain कर दिया था. मैंने आपको बताया था कि अगर आप the one which is mentioned उसको कर देंगे तो आपको आधे नंबर मिल जाएंगे, तो half number आपको इस वजह से. However, the other reasons were advanced, were explained, and so a low level of 3 marks was awarded, that is 5 out of 10. अब आखिरी आंसर पढ़ते हैं इसका, और टाइम भी खत्म हो गया. आप लोग दोबारा से इसको ज्वाइन कर लेना ताकि फिर आप लोग सब जी 1 मिनट ये बस खत्म होने वाला. As British saw that Indians could be made his trading partner, whilst they made agreement to Indians to be their trading partner. As Hindus were busy in the battle, the British saw an opportunity and they slowly marks East India Company, where the manufactured goods were produced, and therefore, even I'm not understanding one single thing from this. So how the examiner would understand from this one? And let's see the part D. The East India was the trading company since 1752. They produced their